Hello and welcome. Now some people will tell you that the most important part of a car is the way it looks, or the badge on the front, or how many cup holders it has for your lukewarm American coffee. They are, of course, completely and utterly wrong. The single most important part of any car, the very soul of the machine, is its engine. It's the beating heart, the source of all the noise, the power, and frankly, all of the fun. Without a great engine, you just have a very complicated and expensive garden ornament. So, with that in mind, today, we're counting down the top 5 best motors ever created. Now this isn't just a list of engines with the most horsepower or the biggest displacement. Oh no, that would be far too simple too. German. This is a list of engines that genuinely shifted the goalposts, that ripped up the rulebook and set it on fire. These are the engineering marvels that redefined what was possible, whether that was through raw, unadulterated power, mind-bending technology, or just sheer, unkillable stubbornness. They are icons, legends in their own right, and they have powered some of the most significant machines in history. So, prepare for some controversy. Prepare to be outraged. You will almost certainly disagree with some of my choices, and that's brilliant. It means you have a soul too. But I can guarantee that every single motor on this list has earned its place through sheer, unadulterated genius. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a journey through the very best of internal and external combustion. Let's get started. Right, let's get the electric elephant in the room out of the way first. I know, it doesn't drink petrol, it doesn't roar, and it makes all the exciting noises of a domestic appliance. You might think it has no place on a list of great motors, that it's the automotive equivalent of a tofu salad. And in many ways, you'd be right. It lacks the mechanical, visceral theater we all love. It's an electric motor, or rather, 3 of them, wrapped in carbon and hidden away like a dirty secret. But you simply cannot argue with the results. What the Tesla Plaid motor does is nothing short of witchcraft. It delivers over 1,000 horsepower, instantly. There's no waiting for turbos to spool, no waiting for the revs to climb into the power band. You simply press the go pedal, and the world goes blurry. It redefines the very concept of acceleration in a road car, making bona fide supercars look like they're stuck in treacle. It's the sort of forward thrust that rearranges your internal organs, a silent, relentless surge that feels completely and utterly unnatural, like being fired out of a gigantic intergalactic slingshot. And that is why it's on this list. It's a game changer. It's a brutal, devastatingly effective demonstration of what the future holds. While the traditional car world was busy arguing about emissions and downsizing, Tesla just went and built a family saloon that can out-accelerate pretty much anything on the planet, forcing every single manufacturer to wake up, sit up and pay attention. This silent, soulless, yet brilliant motor has thrown down a gauntlet that no one can ignore. It's a masterpiece of electrical engineering, and for that, it earns its spot. From the silent future, we go back to a time of magnificent noise, the Honda VTEC. If you were a car enthusiast in the 90s, those 4 letters were magic. It stood for variable valve timing and lift electronic control, which sounds terribly boring and Japanese. But what it did was pure automotive theater. For most of the time, a VTEC engine would just poodle around town like any other sensible, reliable 4-cylinder. It was economical, it was quiet, it was a Honda. Your grandmother could drive it to the shops without a hint of drama, but then you'd put your foot down. As the rev counter needle swept past about 5,500 RPM, something extraordinary would happen. The engine note would change, hardening from a polite hum into a frenzied, high-pitched scream. It was as if a completely different, much angrier engine had suddenly taken over. This was the VTEC kicking in, you see. A second, more aggressive camshaft profile would engage, and the car would surge forward with a newfound ferocity that was completely at odds with its sensible character just a moment before. It was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but in engine form. This dual personality was its genius. You got the reliability and fuel economy of a small displacement engine, with the high-revving, high-power punch of a racing engine when you wanted it. It allowed Honda to build cars like the Integra Type R and the Civic Type R. Lightweight, brilliant handling machines that could rev to the moon and embarrass much bigger, more powerful cars on a twisty road. It was clever, it was reliable to a fault, and it brought high-performance engineering to the masses. A truly legendary piece of kit. Now, for something completely different. This engine never powered a car. It doesn't have variable valve timing, and it certainly isn't electric. But without it, the world we live in today might look very, very different. I am talking, of course, about the magnificent Rolls-Royce Merlin. This wasn't just an engine. It was 27 liters of British Fury, a supercharged V12 powerhouse that became the sound of freedom during the Second World War. It is, without question, one of the most important engines ever made. Originally designed in the 1930s, the Merlin was a good engine, but with the addition of a two-stage supercharger, it became a great one. It allowed the planes it powered to fly higher and faster than the opposition, a crucial advantage in the life-or-death duels of aerial combat. When you hear the unmistakable sound of a Spitfire or a Hurricane today, that deep, guttural roar that sends shivers down your spine, that is the sound of the Merlin. It's the sound of defiance, of raw, unbridled power being unleashed for the most noble of causes. It also powered the Lancaster bomber, and in a twist of fate, was even licensed to be built in America, as the Packard Fire 1650, where it transformed the P-51 Mustang into the greatest long-range fighter of the war. Over 150,000 of these incredible engines were built. They were complex, they were thirsty, but they were devastatingly effective. The Rolls-Royce Merlin wasn't just a collection of pistons and gears, it was a weapon that helped win a war, an icon of engineering that shaped the course of history. Utterly, utterly brilliant. If the Merlin was the sound of British defiance, then our number 2 is the undisputed sound of American optimism. It's the Chevrolet small block V8. Since it first appeared in the 1955 Corvette, this engine has become more than just a motor. It's a cultural institution. It is the rumbling, thumping heartbeat of the American automotive dream. For over 6 decades in countless different forms, it has powered everything from muscle cars and pickup trucks to race cars and hot rods. It is, quite simply, the engine of the people. The genius of the small block wasn't that it was particularly high-tech. In fact, its beauty was its simplicity. It used a simple pushrod design, not some fancy overhead camshaft arrangement. This made it compact, lightweight for a V8, and crucially, incredibly cheap to produce. It was also ridiculously easy to modify. You could buy a basic Chevy, and with a few tools and a catalog, you could turn your family sedan into a fire-breathing monster that would terrify the neighbors and win at the drag strip on a Sunday. Its versatility is staggering. It's been carbureted, fuel-injected, supercharged, and turbocharged. It has won at Le Mans, at the Indy 500, and on pretty much every dirt track in America. Over 100 million of them have been built, making it the most produced engine in history. It democratized performance, putting V8 power within reach of ordinary people. The Chevrolet small block isn't just an engine, it's a fundamental part of car culture itself, a blank canvas for speed that has powered the dreams of generations. An absolute legend. And so we arrive at number 1, the greatest engine ever made. And it is a straight 6 from a 1990s Japanese sports car. Yes, I am talking about the Toyota 2JZ GTE. Now, before you start throwing things at the screen and shouting about Ferraris and Lamborghinis, just listen. On paper, the 2JZ, as found in the Mark IV Toyota Supra, was impressive for its time: 3 liters, twin turbochargers, and a claimed 276 horsepower, though everyone knew it was making well over 300 from the factory. But that's not why it's here. The 2JZ is number 1 because of what it represents: absolute, unadulterated over-engineering. The Japanese engineers at Toyota didn't just build an engine. They forged a lump of iron so ridiculously strong, so absurdly durable, that it borders on the mythical. The bottom end, the block, the crank, it was all designed to handle power levels that the standard car would never, ever produce. It was as if is that they'd been tasked with building an engine for a sports car but instead built one for a main battle tank, just in case. This incredible strength meant that the tuning community discovered something wonderful. You could throw massive amounts of boost at a 2JZ and it just wouldn't break. 700 horsepower on stock internals? No problem. 1,000 horsepower? It'll take it. People have pushed these things to 1,500, even 2,000 horsepower. It became a god-tier engine in the tuner world, the heart of countless drag racing legends and street monsters. It combines Japanese reliability with the power potential of a nuclear reactor. It's strong, it's smooth, and it is, for my money, the most impressive and game-changing lump of metal ever put in a car. The undisputed king. So, there you have it. 5 engines that didn't just power machines, but powered a revolution. From the silent, brutal efficiency of the Tesla, to the unkillable, tunable legend that is the 2JZ. Each one, in its own way, ripped up the rulebook and showed the world a new way of doing things. They are triumphs of engineering, icons of their eras, and the very reason we fall in love with cars, and sometimes planes, in the first place. They are the heartbeats, the souls of the machines we adore. Of course, this is just my list. The world of engines is vast and filled with incredible contenders. What about the flat 6 from a 911, the screaming V10 from a Lexus LFA, or the sheer lunacy of a Bugatti W16? The arguments are endless, and that's the beauty of it. Passion for engineering and power comes in many forms, and every single one of them is valid. The important thing is that these lumps of metal can evoke such emotion, such debate, and such a deep, deep connection. So, now it's your turn to get angry in the comments section. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me what I've missed. Did your favorite motor make the list? Let us know in the comments below. We genuinely love to hear what you think is the greatest engine ever made, and why. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.